Not quite. Avert.
I'll back up.
No, we're good. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to the Post Cred Show, where we talk about games we played, movies we've watched, and other sort of nerd junk we've done.
I feel lower.
Than that chair.
How do I feel lower? We lost Tony. Surprise.
Surprise, you found out which one of us disappeared. It's a really bad magic trick. We'll turn all the cameras off. And then one of us
off for like 5 minutes. Who went away?
It's like David Blaine magic here. Welcome, I'm Nick.
Hi, Chris.
We're here to talk about games and
Disney
stuff.
Plus.
Disney Plus. This
I'm
part of
assuming
my
that's
list
most
is-
of your list.
Well, okay, so I played 3 games, and then I've watched a bunch of Disney Plus stuff. And I've also watched, so I've watched The Good Place. I'm going to go off with Good Place because I can't talk about The Good Place. You should watch The Good Place.
You can't talk about
Well, no, because there's just so much, cliffhangery type. There's always a twist.
Okay.
So it's like, if you talk about the twist, it ruins subsequent twist. It's very spoiler heavy where you can't even be like, oh, on this episode, they marginally do this. Speaking about The Mandalorian,
We'll put the spoiler.
We'll put the spoiler tag up, but you could do a spoiler it's a great show because The Mandalorian, the action is great.
Yeah.
And when he fights off this and that and everything, this is good. You can do a spoiler-ish free type thing. As soon as you start talking about what happened in this episode of The Good Place, you have ruined 8 other episodes if people haven't watched it.
And that's before.
What?
Talked about in depth. It'd be before.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's you should watch The Good Place. It's a good show. Either way, games I've played: Planet Zoo.
Close to Planet Tycoon.
Planet Coaster.
Yeah, that one.
Same company.
Okay.
And they also made Jurassic Park Evolution.
Oh, yeah.
So the zoo game, but with dinosaurs.
Brian
has tried that
Yes.
one. This is kind of the culmination of the 2 of them. So it's the Planet Coaster look and feel, but you're obviously not building roller coasters. You're building habitats
or dinosaurs.
Habitats for animals. Brian and I briefly talked about it, but it's fun because you have to. The grizzly bears need snow in their enclosure, so you have to put coolers in the thing and then put the snow down, and then you have to have enclosures for them to actually sleep under. They need a hard surface to sleep under, so you have to make sure that's there. And you can do it by easily just placing a ceiling.
Yeah.
And they call it done. So if you want to play the game really basic, you can. If you want to go nuts and build these gorgeous enclosures with all of this stuff, you can.
How far are you in?
So I started my franchise mode, and this is where my problem with the game I finally found my problem with this game.
Yeah.
And I talked about it in the newscast, but in franchise mode, what they want you to do is breed animals and either release them into the wild for conservation points or sell them for conservation points. And those conservation points are what you use to buy new animals.
Yeah.
But the only animals available are animals that people are putting into the trading thing.
So no one wants to put a high end.
And they're setting their own price because you can set your own price.
Yeah.
So I put a lemur in there the other day for 49 points because that's what the game told me my lemur was worth. So I just stuck with it.
Yeah.
Well, then I went to buy a wolf, and they were 3,000 conservation points for the cheapest wolf.
No.
And I'm no. But you couldn't buy any for money because those have all been bought up and they're gone. Frontier has not put any more on the store, and it's completely useless. So I have restarted my zoo.
Okay.
With the knowledge I have now of how it's built and how it runs and all of that kind of stuff.
So it hasn't wrecked you on it.
No, because the game itself is still fun. I just have to play the offline franchise mode, essentially. Totally fine with that. So that part's I'm cool with. I now have almost no money because I've restarted a zoo, and I'm okay, I got to get research done. Because you can actually research diseases so that you can stop your animals from getting them.
Okay.
Or if they get them, you can solve those problems more readily. If you have water in the habitat, you have to have water tanks, which wasn't a thing, obviously, in Planet Coaster.
Yeah.
Planet Coaster didn't care about power. This game does. Because you need power to
for the coolers
and the heaters, and for the water tanks, and for the research centers, and all of that stuff needs power. People don't like seeing power stations, though. And that's kind of where people have a problem with a bit of the game is, if we go to our zoo, you can actually go and see part of where they take care of the animals. So, like, it's kind of the animal hospital. They're not going to show you, like, the gory-ish type stuff.
Yeah.
But they'll show, like, the check-in, you know, like the little doctor's office with the table, and you can watch the porcupine get his, you know, weekly checkup sort of thing. And you're like, oh, that's so cool. Guests in Planet Zoo do not like seeing any staff building.
That's weird.
Even if you decorate it gorgeously, there is a range where they have to be away from the guests.
On the other side of the zoo, then.
But they can't be that far away. It's not that bad. The radius isn't huge, but it's one thing you have to worry about. But people are like a keeper's pen where they keep the food to feed the animals should be close to the pens.
Yeah.
But they have to be out of this radius of people. So it's one of those, like, very fine balanced kind of things. But at the same time, people are like, but at my zoo, you can see the keeper's area to see what they do, because that's part of the education piece.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the one thing people are complaining about, is because, like, people have set up these gorgeous buildings right at, like, the main entrance of their zoo, because they're like, watch us as we, you know, do this and do that, and then, like, as soon as guests walk in, they're like, I didn't want to see this junk.
The animals fight.
That's what you can actually. That happens in the game. So certain animals, there's zoopedias, so an encyclopedia of your animals, and it will say you can have more than one male within your, like, community. So, like, my warthogs fought, and one of them became the alpha, and so he is the alpha male of the community. Lemurs, though, can only have one male if there's females within the group.
Okay.
You can put, like, 12 dudes together, and they're all like, okay, this is fine. But as soon as a chick enters the picture...
They're fighting?
Yep.
The death?
To the point where, like, one of them will probably have to be taken to the vet. And people do not like seeing lemurs fighting.
I've never seen a lemur fight, so I can't be the judge of that.
Well, in the game, they do this.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You can also put up educational boards and speakers with all of the animals and that kind of stuff. And then it's Planet Coaster, so decorating is not a huge part of it, but it's still part of it, so you can make things look as pretty as you want to, or not as pretty as you want
it
to.
Doesn't help, so.
Well, but it does. So actually putting and decorating the workers' area actually increases productivity.
All right.
But it doesn't block that radius, because that's what everybody's saying. And they're like, if we could even put blocks within that radius to, like, tone the radius down, that'd be great.
Sounds like a lot of radiuses.
Well, there is. So then there's, like, there's eye lines to animals, because they have to be able to see animals and all of that jazz. So there's those pieces. It's a fun game. The franchise mode is just broken because of the in-game economy, and people are already trying to. They're like, I have Timberwolves and nobody else does, so I'm going to sell them for, you know.
So while they're doing a good economy.
Sure, the economy's working as it
for
should.
Themselves,
yes, it is. Yeah, it just sucks for, like, anybody who's buying the game now. Is sort of screwed, because the animals within that system are not there, so it kind of sucks. MLB The Show 19, it is like MLB The Show 18. Baseball. It was free on PlayStation Plus, so I got it last month.
I forgot to
I don't know.
Things aren't showing up in my free thing.
I know. And I also have been playing the other game that is free right now.
Outlast or
Neo.
I bought that one a long time ago.
It's kind of fun. It's Dark Soulsy, but not as impossible as Dark Souls.
Okay, good.
So I feel okay about it.
There's a second one coming out.
Yes, there is. So it's like I started playing it, and I died.
Yeah.
And part of the whole thing is, like, you have this the Philosopher's Stone, essentially, so it brings you back to life.
Okay.
And then there's all this other, like, there's a mystical shark ninja thing that keeps you alive. Like, it's part of your spirit guardian animal thing. So if you get back to your body, you can get all the points back that you lost. If you can't, you lose those points. But the game's not, like, completely impossible.
Alright.
Like, Dark Souls is very dodge and pray.
Hope it doesn't hit you.
And hope things don't hit you. This one is very much like you can definitely block and you can definitely dodge. Like, there seems to be a bit more mechanics to it, as opposed to just, like, swing wildly and roll around and hope to God you're doing it right.
I wonder if that'd be close to Sekiro
I kind of, and yes, there are, like, also stances. So, like, with all of the weapons, there's a high stance with more damage but slower attack, your mid-range, and your, like, quick but less damage kind of thing. So And then as you switch them, your stamina comes back faster if you do things in the right order and all of that stuff. Then there's demons involved.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you got to do that. So I've been having fun with that one until I reach a point where I just keep dying. And then it's one of those ones.
Kind of the deterrent.
Well, so you turn it off and you come back, and then it's just because you've kind of been playing for so long that it's... Yeah. So, I've been having fun with that one. Other than that, the rest of mine is all Disney Plus stuff.
You keep going.
Okay.
Because then we can tie
We'll end with that one?
Well, that will be the segue.
All right.
Into
I watched Noelle.
The
Christmas movie on the Disney Plus.
What's her face?
Yes. The one from
Anna
Pitch
Kendrick?
Perfect. Anna Kendrick. And Bill Hader. Who can
yes,
both be very funny people.
Yep.
This was definitely it was probably going to air on ABC for a Christmas special.
Oh, yeah.
And then Disney Plus came out and they're like, we'll put it there instead. Because it is, the story's actually pretty good.
Because Santa disappears?
So, essentially, Santa is mortal, has kids, and the Santa lineage is passed down to, the next closest male relative or whatever in the family. Bill Hader is the one that becomes Santa, except he sucks. So, the story is Anna Kendrick's character, who is his sister, Noelle, tells him to, take the weekend, take the sleigh, and go visit somewhere warm and just, relax. He doesn't come back, but the sleigh does. So Anna Kendrick's character, because everybody's blaming her, goes off to find him and bring him back. And she meets a guy who has a kid, and you go through the kind of, it's kind of like the Santa Claus, but really slow. Like Santa Claus, the Santa Claus dies, and you spend the year of, this guy becoming Santa.
Yeah.
This one is, there's a dude becoming Santa who doesn't want to become Santa, so then they get him back, but then there's also the, tail end of the story where, there's the, we're going to try being Santa.
Yeah.
And you're like, this movie's in a lot of weird pieces. And then, because he's disappeared, they elect the next closest male, which is the cousin, who is played by Billy Eichner, who did Timon in The Lion King.
Okay.
He is an IT guy who is next in line to become Santa, so he's trying to, simplify the delivery service. And they're like, we don't have enough time to, do all of this stuff, and da-da-da-da-da-da. So, he's cutting down the amount of nice kids on the list to, 2,000, and he's just going to send out Amazon drones to deliver their presents.
Of course.
So essentially, it's Noelle trying to get Bill Hader back to the North Pole so that they can get Christmas to be Christmas. There's some shoddy CGI. It looks like it was meant for TV.
Yeah, which kind of is.
Which it kind of is. So it's one of those, I really do. I feel like this was very much a Disney ABC special that became just, they're like, we'll throw it on the streaming service because then we have a Christmas movie. Other than all the other Christmas movies, like The Santa Claus and I'll Be Home for Christmas and all, the ones that you really want to watch, they're like, it's a brand new one, you're going to love it.
Nope.
It's okay. It's cute. There's a baby reindeer named Snowcone, and he's cute.
Take it over for Rudolph?
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
Because there is no Rudolph, it's just the regular team of 8.
Yeah.
And Snowcone is, the cute one that kind of keeps showing up in the movie. Because you're like, oh, he's cute, but he's clearly very CGI'd.
Yeah.
To the point where you're like, oh, right, you're a computer graphic character.
You can't get a real reindeer.
Well, they can't, but it's so the other one I watched was Lady and the Tramp, and that one, clearly they did use real dogs for part of it, but even when they didn't, their CGI dogs looked like dogs.
Yeah.
This reindeer definitely, that's the piece, is spend an extra couple, $10,000 and...
That's too much money.
But that's the piece, is clearly this movie was made on a budget. And then the other part of it, I feel like with Anna Kendrick and Bill Hader, you could have made a really good, almost more PG-13 movie.
With Bill Hader, yeah.
But Anna Kendrick can too, if you watch the...
Oh yeah, I know.
there's certain movies she's done where
The wedding, Mike and Davey.
Yeah, Mike and Davey wedding dates. Like, she can get into that role, so her and Bill Hader doing that, I think, would be gloriously funny.
Yes.
This one's missing a lot of the comedy.
Okay.
Because it's trying to do Elf, because she's from the North Pole, so when she hits, I think it's Austin, Texas or something like that, like when she gets to the States, she knows nothing. Like, so she's trying to pay for stuff with, like, Christmas decorations.
Yeah.
And she wants to spend time in a freezer because it's cold and she's not used to the heat. Like, there's elements of Elf, and there's elements of the Santa Claus, and there's...
Trying to mush them together.
But kind of mushing them together, but even Elf and the Santa Claus had more adult-oriented jokes every once in a while.
Yeah.
This one just skips over all of those to keep a G rating and make it like, you know, we're going to make a Christmas movie where everybody feels great.
Oh, yeah. That's a TV movie.
Yeah. So, yes, it's very much a made-for-TV flick that's on the streaming service. Lady and the Tramp I thought was pretty good. They follow the story pretty close to the original.
Mm-hmm.
I had to laugh the entire time because it is clearly still set in a very olden time setting.
Yeah.
But it starts off with Jim Darling and his wife and the hat box.
Yeah.
Except his wife is African American.
Okay.
So that's the part where I'm kind of giggling because I'm like, that wouldn't have happened in that time period.
Yeah.
2, she's pregnant because, again, that's part of the story.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whew. Their doctor's Ken Jeong.
Definitely not happening.
And I'm like, oh, dear me. Yvette Nicole Brown is Aunt Sarah.
Okay.
Who brings the cats in and all of that jazz.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, it was just funny because it's clearly like Disney was like, oh, we're going to be very culturally diverse when we cast people.
Yeah. Not a problem.
Which isn't a problem. It's just funny if you think about the time period in which the story is set.
Yes.
Voice actors, Tessa Thompson is Lady.
Okay.
Valkyrie.
Yep.
I don't know the guy who played Tramp, but he did a pretty good job. Like, he's got credits to his name. I just don't know him. Benedict Wong played one of the minor characters.
One of the
dogs. Sam Elliott is the Bloodhound, which as soon as I figured that one out, I was like, primo casting. And again, like, my wife and I were kind of just laughing at ourselves just because of all the controversies always online. But the Scotty dog next door, who's usually like, you know, the rough, tumbly, is a female dog now.
Okay.
And Jen and I were laughing because we're like, you know, how is no one on the internet up in arms about this dog becoming a female dog?
Because it's a dog.
Because and it's Lady and the Tramp. No one actually cares. Obviously, the Siamese cats are no longer Siamese cats. They're still douches.
As they should be.
Yeah. And they sing a song about redecorating the house now.
All right.
As they tear it apart. Yvette Nicole Brown plays a very good Yvette Nicole Brown where she's mad at the dog and, you know.
Yeah, but the aunt didn't really have a big role.
No, this one she kind of does a little bit more. Like, they clearly make her out to be one of the antagonist type people.
Yeah.
Not for a lot of the movie, just to get Lady out of the house sort of thing.
Yeah.
And onto the street. They do the, you know, they do the spaghetti scene and all of that jazz. They have the 2 idiots singing. The songs, most of them are still there, obviously, other again than the cats.
Yes.
It's pretty much the movie, just friendlier, I guess.
Seems to be where they're going nowadays.
Yeah.
Just carbon copies of what we're used to.
Yeah. And again, this one, like I say, dogs I find have more expression than... And again, like Sam Elliott's dog, Sam Elliott was the perfect person to voice the hound, like the Bloodhound, because of the jowls. So, like, his deep voice, like, you don't expect that dog to smile.
Yeah.
He just sounds like Sam Elliott, who always looks grumpy, so the Bloodhound works.
I think I can't.
Can't think of who he is. The ranch. The dad.
Okay. Well,
The old cowboy guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roadhouse.
Yes. That's what I mean. He's like that character, so it fits him.
Oh,
but the other dogs, when they're happy, because, again, dogs can do that...
Yeah.
They actually look decently... They emote better than lions do.
Than cats.
Yes, than cats. But even the cats in this one, well, because they're douches. I guess that's the other piece is the cats are dicks. So they don't have to smile. They just have to, like...
Well, it's an evil smile.
Well, but even, and that was the piece, is like at one point the cats are afraid, like they pretend to be afraid.
Yeah.
They do the thing where they're cowering and like the fur is kind of up and the tail's between the legs, and I'm like, see, these people know what cats look like. And they do look CGI-ish. So again, it was that piece where they're like, I think they were thinking of putting this in theaters, saved themselves like, you know,
a whole bunch of marketing
and some extra money on CGI, because you didn't have to put it on the big screen, so it didn't have to be like completely perfect.
Yeah.
But it was still good enough to put on this one. I enjoyed it. It was cute. Jeff Goldblum, I watched the first episode, or part of the first episode. Like I said before, he's a lot to take in.
I could see that.
Yeah, like half-hour shows of him talking about stuff is.
I was debating that one.
Is a lot. I do want to give it a fair shake, so I am going to check out the ice cream episode, because that's episode 2.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really interested in sneakers. That culture does not.
But even the perspective of someone by their sneakers.
Yeah.
Would be an interesting aspect.
It's a cool aspect, but again, it's Jeff Goldblum, so everything's just like that extra.
And his run. I want to see his run.
You want to see his run, because that one's like.
I want to see what he does.
Yeah. And that's just it. Like, that could have been, I think, a shorter episode.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the big piece with him. But I do want to check out the ice cream episode. I've watched The Simpsons, I've watched Gargoyles, and I've watched Doug.
I too have watched The Simpsons.
Cool show.
It's fun watching the
earlier episodes
transition, how they went. Even watching South Park, watching how those evolved into what they are. It's
because the characters have
technology.
Oh, I know, and the characters even have to find themselves. Like Homer was almost more of a sympathetic character when that show started.
Well, yeah, he was the good. He
was the dad who was trying to do good, but just never seemed to be able. To yes.
And even the one I watched, where it's, was it the one I just watched? I don't know. One of them I just watched.
Yeah.
Where he wants the perfect family, and they're going to the Burns.
They're going, yeah.
The Burns
family picnic or whatever.
And
he
wants the perfect family, but he's like, I can't. I'm not getting it.
Yeah.
You do. You feel bad for him.
You do, because he's. But again, even the characters in there, like Lisa, clearly isn't like the Lisa we now.
Well, but she's showing signs of being smart.
She has the signs of being smart, but she's also still a like. Obnoxious. Like she's almost Bart but smart.
Yeah, in a way.
Like the way they fight and they squabble, and even like in one of the earlier episodes, Bart's calling Moe and doing like the IP freely, and Lisa's laughing with him, and I'm like, that doesn't seem like the Lisa that I know from now.
Yeah.
She wouldn't be laughing at that. She'd be scolding Bart, going like, "Why are you partaking in such juvenile, fancies?" Even Marge has evolved from. Like those earlier episodes.
Yeah, the homeowner.
Yeah.
Or the home.
Yeah.
Yeah. She stay-at-home wife. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch how that show started and how those characters.
Watching it evolve.
Yeah.
I'm only 5 episodes in, so.
I'm 5 or 6 in.
Not too far, but.
What did I watched one last night? I forgot which one it was.
But it's fun going back to these classic stuff.
Yep.
I didn't realize, and maybe they just did this for our benefit, but the first episode is a Christmas episode.
Yeah, where we got Santa's little... Yeah, it is. I checked IMDb.
I did not realize that the very first episode is where they get
Christmas,
the dog.
I know.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Yep. I know, because I'm like, they just threw like the Christmas special in a random order. Yeah. So I checked IMDb, and no, that's episode 1.
Well, because I know we had talked earlier that they cut out one episode, and even my brother who watched DuckTales for a little bit, the original, it's missing episode 2 and 3 on the first season.
Oh, okay.
Like it goes 1 and then 4.
Oh, yeah.
But then it continues on, and he doesn't. He's like, they make a mistake, or like,
was the first episode longer?
I don't know.
Was that where the movie's supposed to go?
It's hard to say. Like, he's like, do they have an issue here? I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, you look on it, it's 1, 4, 5.
But at least they're doing that, because even in The Simpsons, it's the same thing. They didn't try and like pretend it didn't happen by going episode 1, 2, 3, 4. It's episode 1, 2, 4.
Yeah.
They didn't try to hide it, so to their benefit, it's one of those things.
Unless that's just a glitch in the system because they're still working out the kinks on it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Simpsons has been good. Gargoyles is awesome. And apparently we're getting the uncensored Gargoyles.
Good.
So I just watched the episode where Broadway is playing with Elisa's gun and shoots her. And apparently, like, hasn't been on streaming services and other assorted stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they've cut that episode out because of, like, gun violence. And you're just like, shouldn't that be on because of gun violence? Like, it's a pretty good episode to base off of that. That show moves a lot faster than I remember it running, though.
I haven't watched it yet.
That's one of those ones where, like, they're already thinking of transitioning out of the castle, and I'm on, like, episode 9.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I remember that being, like, way further along, but I guess there's only 2 real seasons, and then the third one, which is, like, the weird time travel-y season.
I don't even remember that one.
The Goliath Chronicles. Yeah, him and Demona, like, travel through time. And I'm like, okay, because Disney took over and things got weird. Like, the original creators left. Yeah. The original creator did tweet out, though, that, like, if there's enough people watching Gargoyles, the chances of them getting to do more episodes is a possibility.
Fine, I'll watch it.
So that's my thing. I'm like, that's the only reason I'm like, I can watch Gargoyles while I play Planet Zoo.
Yeah. I find I had to watch these shows just because it's been so long for some of them.
Gargoyles, I have the DVDs, so I have watched... Like, I watched the first episode. Planet Zoo was doing its thing, and I'm just like... Because I have both screens going, so I'm just like...
Yeah.
Because the animation was just so killer for a TV show, and then the storylines of, like, you know, them fighting and doing all of this, like... And I'm like, the violence.
Like I said to someone at work, a couple people at work, it's like my Saturday morning is back.
Hell yeah. I can turn on Doug, man.
And even my brother, before I left the house this morning, he's sitting around with his kids watching
DuckTales,
and I'm like...
Like, that's the coolest part of Reddit right now is all of these people who are like, my kid is watching, like, Bonkers or what, you know, or Chippendale Rescue Rangers or whatever it was that, like, used to be a show that I watched, and now their kids watching it for the first time ever. And you're just like, yeah, they are.
I know.
And I mean, some of the DVDs have been available for some of these shows.
Yeah.
But this, again, makes it easier to just be like, oh, wow, like, DuckTales done.
But, I mean, for me, I knew I had seasons 1 to 10 at least
of the Simpsons, yeah.
So it's kind of, why do I need these anymore? In a way, that's like, and they're all on DVD, and it's like I could watch better quality. Obviously, not with the ratio.
The ratio thing can be an issue, yeah.
But not that I cared about. Yeah. That I just like watching the older episodes. I guess
those ones I can turn on almost in the background.
I can't wait for the hockey episode. Yeah, it's one of my favorite episodes.
And now you can watch it over and over.
And even I didn't realize that the Going to War with Nelson was so early.
That's the one I just watched last night.
Yeah, I watched that one. I'm like, oh.
And
that was such a great episode that they're burned into your head and you get to see them again.
But I think that was kind of the surprising thing to me is I was like, I can watch The Simpsons from the very beginning, and I'm like, I have seen some of these episodes before. Yeah. And I didn't realize I'd seen these episodes before. I thought I was like way further along, but clearly I've watched enough reruns of The Simpsons to have seen...
Well, you could always tell with the animation back in the day. Like,
I know
it's an older episode, but I never knew exactly
where they were. Yeah, me too.
But now I have this, obviously, the
chronologicals. Yeah.
Like, oh, it's per season.
Excellent.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, I've watched these. I know. I can watch all the Treehouse. Like, you can now spend your Halloweens actually watching every single Treehouse of Horror.
Oh yeah.
Like, every single one. Like, that's the coolest part, I think, to some of this Disney Plus stuff is... You can now watch half of the Christmas specials that you normally watch just without even worrying about it.
It's a goal now to get through all 30 seasons.
Oh, I know.
I don't know how long this is going to take me, but
depends.
If I watch one a day, I get through. It take me over a year, I think I said.
Yeah.
Maybe 2.
Yeah, Gargoyles. Doug's still a good show.
It's on the list.
Yep. And then The Mandalorian.
Which I have watched 2.
Did you watch both episodes?
Yes.
Me too.
I made sure to last night. So I know we're probably going to talk about it.
I saw you log on and I'm like...
Can you see that I'm on Disney Plus?
I didn't... No. I think it just says you're online. Whenever you're online and not playing a game, you're watching something. Like, I know you're watching something.
That's not always true. Sometimes it's just sitting there. Because I can't decide what I'm playing.
I get that too, but like I'll... And that's why I usually give you like 5 minutes before I'd like... It's like, you know, Chris has come online. And I'm like, oh, cool. And I'm like, that's nice. And if I'm playing something multiplayer, I always like start a party or I'm always sitting in a party just waiting. And I'm like, should I start a party? And then I check like 5 minutes later and you still have nothing there. And I'm like, he's watching.
A lot of the time it's just it's indecisiveness.
And I understand that one too. I'm with you on that one. Should I put up a spoiler thing then? Or are we going to... or do you want to do the rest of your list?
I can do the rest of my list.
All right, we'll do the rest.
Circle back to that.
We'll circle.
The only other thing I watched with Disney Plus.
Yes.
Is I only watched the first episode when it was on Netflix, but I started the Clone Wars. Now I'm on episode 3, so I watched the first 2 episodes.
Are you watching them in the right sequence or just going down the list? Yeah, that's what I did.
I just haven't watched the movie.
Don't worry about it.
They said it ties in, though.
It can, but don't. It's not as... Like, I didn't like the movie.
Well, yeah.
The show really was where it picked up steam.
And I'm hoping to, because it really feels like it's little shorts right now.
Yes, they do feel like that right off the bat.
So we'll see how that goes. Only thing I did check is which order do they go into with Clone Wars, Resistance, and Rebels.
Rebels, yeah.
I think it's obviously
Clone Wars, Rebels.
Yeah, Resistance.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I had to check is which series I'm going by.
Yeah,
first.
someone released the lovely timeline of like here's
the
movies on one side and here's like the TV shows on the other.
Well, I've seen the chronicle list of.
Yes, the chronological list of Clone Wars. That's nuts. I can't follow that.
But it would make it easier because I think, as we talked about in another show, it's transitioning.
Yeah.
Not an easy thing.
No.
Right now, I have it on my phone, so that's whenever I go places, I'm watching an episode of Clone Wars.
Well, because you can download a bunch of the episodes now, too.
The one thing I do like about the downloading on this is I don't have to go individual episodes. There's a button to go, you want this season? Download, and it downloads all the whole season.
I haven't downloaded anything yet, so...
Well, it's just because I take the trade, so...
I do not.
I can do that.
And put it in my little thing in my car, turn on Clone Wars. Yeah.
So, it's a really practical way of
it's a great way of doing it.
Hey,
I want this whole season done.
Well, I did it like the Netflix. I'm like 1, 2. I'm like, I'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever. Just do the whole season and just wait for it to. Hopefully, it doesn't take up too much room on my phone, which it didn't.
Cool.
So it's like 3 gigs or something like that.
Nice.
It's worked out. Yes. Watching that. Played a couple things.
What'd you play?
I started out with Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Yes.
Tomb of the Shadow Raider.
Tomb of the Shadow Raider.
That'd be awesome.
Cool.
I actually beat that faster than I thought I would. Not a long story. Like I feel that I should have probably got to recap myself there for number 2. Could try to remember
what transpired.
What happened in that?
Yeah.
Because it's been a while. That might have helped. But I'm doing side missions but this was like whatever, I'll power through the story and I'll do it and I'll come back.
Yeah.
The Tomb Raider, being the trophy person I am, always has some collectible stuff that I can go back and I can do at a later time and do all that. So I think I beat that in a week.
Yeah, you were pretty quick on that one.
Considering I have other things going on, I beat that in a week. Not a bad game.
Nice.
If you like the other ones. This one is, I think she's finally starting to settle down. Like, not with a guy or anything,
but like
a relationship or anything. It's
jive in with the Tomb Raidering.
Well, it's stop going to do all these things and kind of just get to your life together type thing.
Yeah.
Because you're always, as she says in the thing, she's always go, go, go. She has to feel that she's the one to keep going.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, it's kind of, you know what, I'm going to...
This could be kind of the end of the trilogy sort of thing.
I think she settled into maybe just taking some time, because there was a flashback part, and that's always kind of been the thing with both movies and
they do the
games, is her dad has always been a off on a road type of guy and not being around. She's realizing that maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah.
I'm losing connection with people type thing. So,
which can also lead to other like good pieces of games, because they've tried that with the Tomb Raider series when like it got really convoluted and weird in the old one, where it was like she's now in a city running around and doing stuff, and it's like they could actually, I feel like with the new Tomb Raider, do something like that a bit more.
Well, it's the world is at stake, and it's like I always find it weird with like this, with Uncharted, or any of those type of archaeological. You have to go discover things about
the
society.
Indiana Jones games,
where there's all this stuff hidden, and it's like
I know.
How has no one stumbled upon this at all?
I know.
It's always kind of the weird part to me.
Yeah, that's just the suspension of disbelief piece. But I think a good Tomb Raider game for like the next one, instead of going to the big thing, is doing a more personal story where even if something is stolen from her and she has to get it back, and yes, it's more of like a thief game.
Well, this one was I try not to dive too much far in.
Sure.
Where she finds something.
Yep.
She takes it.
Yep.
Because she doesn't want it falling into the wrong hands, and she sets forth something that's
a cataclysmic event of some kind.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
the end of the world.
Yeah. And that's kind of the way it's going. And because and of course at the end it adds the little supernatural.
Of course.
Part of that, because that's what society has been hiding from us this entire time.
Ghosts.
The supernatural.
Ghosts, Scoob.
Who just could set things on fire, or go into the shadow realm or whatever.
Perfect.
I know, right? Who knew? Huh. Not that I mean, it does a better job of realism.
Yes.
But still, there's that point where you just have to take that leap.
And now a Yeti appears, and I'm like, I've been fighting wolves this whole game. Why is there a Yeti now?
Oh boy.
There's a whole society of them, and they've been living in secret for years.
Well, even her, how she toughs through some of these injuries.
Oh, good God. No.
I remember we had this discussion about the first one where she took something to the side and she...
Like right off the bat.
And even my brother, when we watched the movie that was kind of based off the first game, where she took that and he's like, she wouldn't be rock climbing right after this. You think it would take a while. But she's doing it. And this, when she gets clawed in the back by a giant jaguar... And
just keeps walking.
Well, she gets up and the guy's like, we gotta take a look at this.
Really?
So they spent the night just camped out, but then she's up and
I know that was. I laughed when I started
going around doing
when I played Tomb Raider, and you fall down that like thing and then land and jab yourself right in the gut, and I'm just like, oh my God, like I failed already. Like, did I miss a QuickTime event? And then the QuickTime event shows up to like lift yourself off of it, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna survive this. Cool. And then she like wades into like chest deep water almost, and I'm like, well, that's getting infected. Like horribly infected. And then she's like leaping and grabbing onto something, and I'm like, I'm feeling the pain of thinking the muscles connected between like when you hang from something, this stretches, and I'm going, oh God, the hole in my stomach right now.
You stitched up yourself, but you just tore those stitches.
Or they're gone, and your insides are completely just falling out right now. Yeah.
Yes, that would be the whole...
I know it makes her look tougher, but it also just
pretty much getting mauled in the back.
Yeah.
And I think, oh yeah, she's going like she's uncomfortable. But it's like,
sure, but whoop-de-doo.
You would be down.
Yeah. That's like if Finn in the Star Wars Episode 7 caught the lightsaber to his spine and was like, I just need like a day. It's cool, guys. I got this.
Those are cauterized wounds.
It's even better. Like, he should have been standing up. He went into like the Bacta tank thing to heal. She just camps out by a campfire and like,
I don't know.
Bam.
It just keeps going. It just takes more of a beating.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Yes, I appreciate the fact that she like takes a licking and keeps on ticking, sort of thing. But holy God, they do.
There's like, a certain point to their realism.
Yeah. I have a hole in my chest, and all of a sudden you like careen into something like metal that would have given you an easy concussion. And she's just like, I'm good. And you're like, no, sweetie, like.
It's all on your head.
Yeah.
You're knocked out.
She actually died in the first thing that impaled her. Yeah. Like she on the slide down, she whacked her head, and she's like, these are like death images appearing to her. She's dying.
So, I don't know. Trophy wise.
You'll go back. You'll probably go back to it later.
but some of these things that's what kind of the difficulty ones.
Yeah.
Trophies. They're hard to go back.
Yes.
Like that's why I don't I take a break from them.
Yes, and then
it's like I can't do this game twice.
Yep. Oh, I understand that one.
Not that it's bad. It's just.
That's like books, though. I can do books twice. Like, for the most part, like I can reread The Hobbit maybe once every 2 years.
Yeah.
But once I've read a book,
you're mentally exhausted from it.
And I don't need to take that journey again. Like.
No.
I know.
But then you go back and it's like, what do I do?
Yeah, I know. I know. That's the worst. When I reread books, that's the worst part too. Is like I'll read the first 3 pages. I'm like, yeah, I know what this is. So I like stream to the next. Like I kind of flip to the next chapter, and I'm like, shit, what happened? Go back like 3 more pages.
Well, even I was trying to play a certain way.
Yep.
Because I was like, I have a bow and arrow.
You're trying to go stealthy.
I'm trying to. Well, you really can't do that.
Yeah.
It's really next to impossible because of how they did it.
In the first game, you could definitely go stealthy.
Yeah.
For the most part. There were parts maybe that you had to gunfight your way through.
Well, even still, if I got caught, I'm like, okay, I'm refusing to use the gun. I'm going to wait for them around the corner.
Yeah.
And that's how I started playing that. And I'm like...
Didn't work.
Well, I got to the supernatural part of it.
Oh, yes.
And it's like... And some of the character you fight against, you can't just start taking swings because they'll start dodging and then hit you. And it's like... Oh, so I can't do that. So I'm like, okay, machine gun.
Yeah, I was gonna say when they're ghosts, just shoot them. It's
like, they're demonish. Well, they're not. They're human. It's just they're super fast.
Oh, okay. They've been infected with something, or possessed by something. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I dig it.
So they're super fast, so I couldn't hit them.
Yeah.
And if I tried, I'd get clawed back, and so yeah. Eventually, I was like. Machine gun.
The Scooby Gang could have done so much better if they just had guns on them all the time. That was actually an SNL skit. I was thinking that, and then I'm like, I just watched that SNL skit where it was the Scooby-Doo gang, but like the nondescript Scooby-Doo gang, so they couldn't get in trouble. And then they didn't need the dog, but they had brought like their friend with them.
Yeah.
And she just takes out a magnum and shoots the guy. And they're like, what did you just do? And it's like, you said the groundskeeper was the ghost. Like, I had to kill him. He's the bad guy. And they're like, we don't kill people. What's wrong with you? And then he starts moving and she just starts shooting again. And I'm like,
yeah, I gave up on that. But no, you can't do stealth because usually how it goes,
yes,
I hide in a bush.
Yeah.
There they go.
Yeah.
There's 2 of them. I can't take them out right now because they'll see.
Yep.
We do this. They'll go keep wandering. Oh, there's a bush. Well, let's actually go into this bush. And it's like, oh.
Uh-oh.
But they did that every time.
Abandoned bush.
Well, you can't because then you start moving and you get seen. It's like,
clearly you should have been waiting in the trees.
No, I think it was just maybe they've learned from the other games. That's what people did all the time.
Yeah, they're trying to counteract they're trying to subvert your expectations.
But they give a warning with the highest difficulty that they'll find you faster. So it's like, oh, good,
great.
So because there was one scene where I'm like, I tried hiding. I tried a bunch of different ways of doing it.
Yeah.
And they keep finding the body, and I'm like, I can't get out of this. So story-wise, I don't know if I could do it.
Oh, yeah.
Right away. And then difficulty-wise, it'd be, what do I do here? Do I just go guns a-blazing?
Yeah, I'll just start shooting everything.
I guess.
Yeah.
But there's less ammo.
Of course there is, because it's hard mode.
Just keep using bows and keep aiming at the heads.
Yeah. And pray.
Because my bows don't go through armored heads.
Of course not.
Actually, the one nice way they kind of curb you from hiding a bit was... I can't remember if there was another one where you just mud yourself and you go up against the wall and they can't see you in the leaves.
Cool. Not sure if that was in the second one.
They countered that by, look at this new technology we got.
Yeah,
heat vision. I'm like, uh-oh.
But Arnold Schwarzenegger told me that it blocks heat vision in Predator.
But it does. There's a couple scenes where you don't have mud available, but you can still hide up against it and they can't see you.
Oh, yeah.
But then the heat guys come like, there. Like, oh.
Damn it, need mud.
Like, I don't want to go into this fight.
Need mud. Should have escaped faster.
So yeah, I beat that.
Cool.
The other one was I started
Yes.
Not too far into it. Far Cry 4.
Yep.
Good game. I hate the driving in this. Like, I didn't... What was the other game we played?
Yes.
Borderlands.
Yes.
I don't find an issue with that driving.
No, once I get into it, I'm fine.
Well, it took me a bit for this.
Oh, yeah.
Because everything's based off the left controller. Not even the right stick is...
Oh, okay. Cool.
Everything. So you got to control your actions at the same time of... I got
driving?
Right.
Good God, no.
So that was my first instinct when I jumped in and I was like, oh, I can drive. Oh, good. Get me there faster. And I'm like, tree.
Tree. Austin Powers.
I can't.
How did the Jeep get in
Why
here?
is this not turning?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to right stick and all I'm doing is looking. And I'm like, and then you'd think that would
You'd think,
steer you. No.
So you steer at everything with...
You have to everything. So you if you want to go right, you have to kind of... I kind of let go and then turn a bit and then
go, yeah.
Power. So it's a bit of a harsh adjustment.
Yeah, no kidding.
To everything I've dealt with.
Well, that's how I always ask with racing games. It's like, is this arcadey or is this realistic? Because like the first time I played, I forgot which game it was, but it was one of the racing games, like a Gran Turismo or something.
Yeah.
Where I'm like coming up to a corner, and I'm used to arcade games where you can either drift or you can just take the corner, and like Need for Speed will pretty much like Need for Speed holds your hand. Well, one, you'll either bounce off the wall, or it does like kind of the braking for you, so you can make a corner. Like they build the roads in Need for Speed so that you can go at max speed around most of the turns. Yeah. Real racing games that use real physics do not. They're like, oh, you're supposed to like slow down, take this corner like an actual, like pretend you're driving a real car.
That's what this feels.
Yeah, so that was my thing. Is like I hate games where I'm like, you start a racing game and you're like, are we arcade racing or are we real racing? And it's like, what do you mean? So you drive and you get to that one where there's like a 90-degree turn and you're like, well, here's where we find out. Careen into the wall, your car explodes, and you're like, we're real racing. Got it.
Yeah, it's almost the thing with the Far Cry stuff is a realism to it, in a way.
And then on top of that, zany physics and that kind of
then all that stuff going on around you. And
Far Cry 4 is the one in the southern states?
Himalayan.
Oh, okay. 5 is the one in the southern states. Okay.
Yeah, that's what the other game I did. It was Dawn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, working through this. I'm not too far into it. I've just kind of met, it follows the Far Cry
Meet bad
plot.
Yeah.
Meet bad guy.
Yeah.
Here's the other group that is opposing bad guy.
Yep.
You join this group.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. And fight the more powerful character.
Yeah.
And work your way up and unlock radio things or jam them up.
Jam radio towers
like
and
your
stuff.
Map.
Yeah.
Unlocking your map, getting the fog away from it. The one thing I will say, the map on this.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Like the map or the actual
when you could press the.
Oh yeah, the map button.
Map button.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh good.
Like just
helpful, or just pretty.
Like pretty.
Okay, cool.
Like because it shows where the animals are.
Yeah.
And the animal figures they have on there are just like, oh, that's pretty.
Ooh,
I like it. And yeah.
Well, that's for Planet Zoo. I'm having this thing where if you jack your graphics up, the animals look like spectacular, but your computer essentially tries to kill itself.
Yeah. And
I'm like, interesting.
It's not. No, my PlayStation's not killing itself, but it's like just watching. I can stare at the map and just look at it. Like, ooh. I don't know. That's a weird thing to like about it, but it helps. But yeah, this is my type of game.
Yeah.
Go around, do missions. There's a whole bunch of whack collectibles to do.
Sure. Do all of that stuff.
There's a crazy priest/gun guy. It's Far Cry.
Yeah. That's like
they put a normal person into a very complicated
situation. Yeah.
And that person has to adjust or die.
Was it 3 where you get? Is it 3 where you get kidnapped by the one guy and escape and like you have to save your friends or whatever? Is that 4? Yeah.
No, that's 3.
3. That's what I thought.
Yes, because that's the guy with the definition of insanity.
Yes.
That's 3.
3.
I love that guy.
But that's what I mean. Like it's like you're just this essentially stereotypical party guy.
Yeah.
Who all of a sudden is like in a cage going like, what the hell? What the hell? And I'm like, I like this. This is like not enough games do that where you're just like, I am basic character number 4.
Yep.
And now I'm in this situation.
Well, in this one, you're a... It doesn't really say what you are.
Yeah.
It just says you're there to go bury or spread your dad's ashes.
Oh, so you're just, again, general guy number 6.
I'm going to this country that my dad asked me to go spread his ashes, and oh no, I'm caught in this situation.
I am basic tourist. Hello. Good day. Donde esta...
At least in this one, you don't get malaria.
Excellent. Donde esta la... Donde esta la toilet?
Biblioteca.
La biblioteca.
Why does he keep asking for
Why does he keep... Because that's where I know there's a bathroom in a library. There has to be.
No, that was 2. You were a journalist or something. You had to go find the jackal.
Yeah.
And at some point you had
malaria,
and every once in a while your screen would flash and stab myself. I know. Weird.
MLB The Show, I have to do some stuff with it because the road to the show is interesting.
Oh, yeah?
Because you can press a button so you only play when your character does something.
Yeah.
Which helps with baseball.
Yes.
But it also means, like, because I'm shortstop.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to be pitcher because, good God.
You're in there once every 5 games.
Right. So my shortstop, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But if you set it to that, every time you play on the field, you know the ball is coming to you.
At least once?
No, it is. Because, like, it will only go to your character when you have to do something.
Oh.
So, like, if
You're not paying attention?
Well, so if I play the whole game and just don't, like, sim the whole game, not sim, but, like, play the whole game, I will be on the field, and the ball might go over to, towards not me. So you have to actually pay attention to when the ball's coming towards you. When you sim to your next thing, like sim to your next appearance, that legitimately means, like, if they're showing you on the field, the ball is coming towards you.
Oh, good.
And you're just like, I am ready.
So if you play first base,
yes,
you're going to get the ball. You're going to be in the game a lot.
A lot. Yeah. But then you can't screw up because then they start cutting you. And that's my one problem with the game is playing only as me.
Yeah.
Especially in a baseball game, I can't control the outcome like I can in a hockey game.
It's true.
Like in a hockey game, I can kind of jump in there, and when it's me, I can play defensively. Like I can go, both ways and help out on defense. In baseball, if I'm up to bat, I can do what I can do. Like if I hit the ball and get a single or a double, I've done my part.
It's a very team game.
Right, but now I'm waiting for computer players to do their part. And if the ball doesn't come to me as shortstop and I can't play it, like, I can't help defensively. It's not like I can run over to, the outfield and be like, I've got it, guys.
Yeah.
It doesn't let you do that kind of thing. So all of a sudden it's like a 0-0 game and you're like, everything is fine. And all of a sudden it's 9-0 for the other team. And you're like, what happened?
Welcome to baseball.
Right, except... So I remember in 18 I played Road to the Show every once in a while. And then when I got bored of it, I played the other mode where you play as the whole team.
Yeah.
Because at least then you can control a little bit more of what's going on.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I was just thinking that when you were talking about the Tomb Raider stuff, and then just how you kind of can't keep playing the same thing over. Like,
that's true. But this, I don't know, these Far Cry ones, though, I can do that because they're.
I think because there's an element to exploring
and
collecting, whereas Tomb Raider, the levels feel like you can explore, but they're very contained sections.
And they're a little tougher to get to.
Yeah.
I find that I do find in the Tomb Raiders the climbing is very tedious.
Yeah.
And it's, just get me to this. Get me to the spot.
Get me to the thing.
Where Far Cry, my only issue is driving.
Where did the tree behind me come from?
Because immediately my first thought is when I first jump into the vehicle and I'm having such a difficult time driving this thing, I'm like, God, Brian would hate this because he hates all the driving.
He does. He hates driving in anything.
Because I remember the Borderlands discussion. And I'm like, he would absolutely hate this.
I have to drive Brian everywhere in Borderlands.
He would hate this Far Cry game. It's just like, I don't know where you're going.
And then I purposely drive off stuff in Borderlands when Brian's riding shotgun.
T2 for riding.
It's like, I told you it was hard, and it's like, no, it's not. I fell off that on purpose. Why did you careen into that wall? Because
I want to cost you money. But yeah, so that's what I've played, and then...
Should I hit a button?
Yes.
Spoilers! If you have not watched The Mandalorian,
We watched The Mandalorian.
Go away and go watch The Mandalorian, because holy cow, you're missing the show.
You?
So spoiler-ish free, and then we'll kind of meander into spoilers.
It's a good show.
It's a good show. The action's crazy.
Yes.
The sets are amazing.
There's only been one set.
Well, but like going from the bars to the like.
Seeing other worlds in a way, I guess.
You feel like you're. Like they didn't cheap out. It's not like.
No.
You don't feel like this guy's on a green screen, and he probably is for the most part.
Oh yeah.
But like you don't feel like they just. Okay, green screened.
No.
And plastered him there. Like there is money that went into this show.
Yeah.
And you can see it.
Oh, absolutely.
And they're not doing the character in a mask that you get to see his face to show him emoting. He is a Mandalorian, and he keeps that bloody mask on.
Well, like they mentioned in the second episode.
Yeah.
That's him.
I know.
He's not going to take it off.
I know, I love that. They want you to put down your gun. I'm a Mandalorian. Guns are my religion.
My religion. We want his armor.
No.
He's not going to give that up.
Well, so... And I guess getting so more into the spoilery pieces is you get to see like a Mandalorian blacksmith thing.
Yeah.
That was crazy cool.
I don't know if he's looking for that specific type of thing.
Like the metal?
Yeah.
I'm assuming that it's... Because they made it out like it's really good metal. And worth a lot of money.
But why build that?
I think with the whole, like, what they're trying to get at is... They work as bounty hunters, but they work as, like, communist bounty hunters where you give back to, like, the group.
Yeah.
So if he gets that chunk can make that decent thing, but it can also pay for, you know, a mass amounts of other stuff.
Yeah.
And I think the blacksmith, it's kind of like there's that spiritual piece to it, too, where it's like, I'm sensing from this, like, this is what it wants to become sort of thing. And you're like... Damn, but she has like the Spartan helmet or whatever kind of going, as opposed to like the regular helmet.
They all have their different helmets. Even
I
the kids
know.
have helmets, and it's like, but which is weird because there was a flashback part.
Yes.
And
well, because he's an orphan, so I think he got picked up by.
So he's not really a Mandalorian.
I don't know, and I don't know what Mandalorian really means.
There's a planet apparently.
I know. So that's where I'm intrigued by this because there's all that
even
background stuff.
Boba is a clone.
Yes.
Yeah,
Boba's a clone.
Boba's a clone. Jango
wasn't.
So
Jango also walked around without a helmet, so like that's the piece is...
He wasn't really Mandalorian.
Right, like...
Clearly. Yeah. It's...
Like there's going to be the history stuff to Mandalorian culture, which is going to be fun to...
There's obviously a group of them. They're still their own miniature little race.
Yep.
Going on.
This takes place right after Return of the Jedi.
5 years.
Yeah.
5 years after the Return of the Jedi. 20 years before Force Awakens.
Yeah. The first scene where you're like walking into the bar, I thought was killer.
The guy almost escaped. Nope. Bang. I was very surprised they did that.
Yeah, baby.
Because it's supposed to be a PG show.
They kept it PG.
Oh, I know. But you see the bottom part fall
I know.
It's like, huh. That's interesting.
Jon Favreau wrote some excellent pieces that the directors have so far, like, crushed.
Oh, yeah. It's like I said, the fight scenes are great. Although I felt in the second episode he took a step back in that regard.
With the fighting?
Yeah. It felt like it. Like at first, no, because he still did his thing. But as it went on, he was starting to lose it a bit.
I think what we're supposed to see is like that John Wick effect of him getting tired because he's just been... Like if you watch the episode back to back, it's essentially like...
Oh, yeah.
This happened, then this happened. Like dude needs a nap more than anything, and I think that's the piece of it is like you're supposed to go, okay, dude's still tired and still managing to like do what he's doing, because at the end of the first episode that's a pretty massive fight scene or a shootout in that kind of thing.
The first one. I don't know what I was thinking second.
Yes,
the first episode that was
with IG-11.
Taika Waititi.
Taika playing his one character,
which I'm surprised that character isn't around for more.
I know.
Considering the name.
Well, it's and that's why like everybody was like, oh my god, IG-88's gonna be in this because IG-88's a huge bounty hunter, in the in canon.
Okay.
Like he's in Empire Strikes Back, same character.
Yeah.
Same droid.
Not the same person.
No, but same droid. Yeah. Like, same type of droid. He's been in some of the games. He's been in some of the books. Everybody, when they showed him off, they're like, oh my god, IG-88's going to be in The Mandalorian. And they're like, it's IG?
11?
Like 11. Yeah. And they're like, why not IG-88? And if you watch the first episode, it's clear why they did not use IG-88, because they didn't want to shoot him in the head.
And even his comment when he sees the droid go up, you think, oh, bounty droids.
Yeah.
So you know there's more than just him.
Sure. So that's the piece. Like, IG-88's still doing his thing out there, but IG-88, they didn't want to just unceremoniously shoot.
Yeah.
So.
And then just the humor in that.
Yeah.
I'm going to self-destruct. No. You're not. We're going to do this.
We're going to get out of this. Give me some cover fire. Now I'm going to self-destruct. No. Essentially, this droid's like, can I self-destruct now?
It was, even that's the subtle humor there. Yeah. They're adding everything into this. If we want to go serious, spoiler.
Sure.
Where at the end of it, what he finds, I told my brother 2 nights in a row, go watch the episode.
Yes.
We need to talk.
Yeah. it's that version of, because he wanted you to watch what? There was a show that he wanted you to bloody well watch, and it was the same thing where it's like you need to know this spoiler or whatever.
I can't remember.
What it was a game.
Yes.
He wanted you to get past a certain point.
It was Borderlands.
Yes.
Yes.
He wanted to talk about it. It's the exact same thing where you're like, I need to talk to someone about this.
His reaction at the end of it was like, so what part do you want to talk about?
The little green thing with the big ears?
Oh my god. That is only 50 years old.
I know.
And
that's the best part is, again, like online people are like, okay, so Yoda became a Jedi Master at like 100, which means like
my statement.
Yeah, he has to be Jediing by at least, And then in episode 2,
but that's why I made the comment to you and Brian. 20 years.
Oh, I know.
You're putting them, and then by the time, what is the last one called?
Last Jedi.
Yeah. Is it, no. The next one coming out.
Rise of the Skywalker. Skywalker. I don't know. Something Skywalker. End of the Skywalker. Downfall of the Skywalker.
Whatever. The one coming out in December.
Skywalker.
I feel that this little green character.
Yeah.
Could come into play.
Yes, I am with you on that one. Rise of the Skywalker. Rise of Skywalker. Sorry.
Yeah. I feel that he would come into play. I assume we really don't know actually.
Could come into play. Clearly already a Force user from episode 2.
Yeah.
Drains his powers quite,
Well, because he held up a big thing.
He did hold up a very big thing.
But was he trying to heal him?
When he was trying to touch him? Yeah. I think so.
Or was he just trying to touch it?
I think he was. Well, and it's hard to say because that's the thing. We have 2 very different Yodas. If you remember Yoda, we have Inquisitive Dick Yoda from Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
But we also have serious Yoda from the prequel trilogy. But legitimately, like when he's trying to touch him, I'm like, this is
because he started closing. I want to say he was trying to.
I feel like he was trying to heal him, but at the same time, there's that other side to Yoda where it's like he just kind of likes poking at things.
Well, you eat the frog.
Don't eat that.
Just swallows the entire thing. It's like his size, and he swallowed it. Oh.
I think it's also cool because that's a great species to bring into Star Wars because we know them, but we know nothing about them.
We only know there's one.
Well, there's 2.
Well, 2, but the other one was non-canon.
Well, she's canon, I think. They made her canon.
I think so.
Yeah, they've remade her canon. Yodel or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have a baby now.
We have but not a baby, 50 years old or whatever.
It looks like a baby.
Well, because it's...
And it even dresses like him.
I know.
She's like a little miniature. You're going to be toys or stuffies or something.
Oh, hells yeah.
With that. But but just even with, like I said, the time difference between that...
And Rise of Skywalker, yeah.
Makes sense because he would get a little taller. If he's already doing this and holding things up, he's only going to get better.
Well, so that's going to be the piece, is like how much does this new show connect to the films? Is it going to do the Marvel thing where you're like, okay,
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the way it was speculated online was in the comics or whatever, Palpatine is still doing what he's going to do in this one, but he takes control of a clone.
Yes.
They're wondering if that's where this kid comes in. It's a clone, and Palpatine takes over the body.
Interesting.
because it has strong force abilities, so
yes.
he would be right up there.
Well, so then that's the other piece, is the Mandalorian's been hired by, clearly, the remnants of the Empire to bring in this creature. So that's the other piece, is why do they want him?
Is it going to be, obviously, might be stating the obvious, betrayal?
What? Like he's not going to hand him in? No, he's not going to hand him in.
But I don't know, it's a bounty, though. He seems very serious about his bounties.
I feel like that, too, except for the fact that...
I'm very torn. I want him to do exactly what we want him to, or he's going to do, which is do that, but that goes against what he's doing.
Well, so that's the piece, is like...
Unless there's a purpose for his bounty.
Maybe.
I think that's where you have to build it.
Yep.
Is there a purpose of it? Is there something strong enough to change his mind about completing the bounty?
Right, that's where things are going to get interesting in this show, and that's kind of the fun part, is because we know absolutely nothing about what's going on.
About him.
I know. We got Jawas.
Okay, I love that whole scene.
Where he was vaporizing
where he's
them.
just ping, ping.
Love those bullets.
He just vaporized them.
I'm watching that and I'm like, this is like straight out of like
the
a
Jawas are just like they're in conflict.
Yeah.
This is what happens.
Huh?
And then he chases after that giant
That was
thing.
so great. The sandcrawler, I know.
And then gets on top and that's where I feel that he took a step back in his conflict.
Only because I don't
think he would have been smart enough to. Okay, there's a bunch of them at the top. They're clearly throwing things at me.
But that was the piece, is they were throwing stuff. They weren't shooting at him. I think if they would have been shooting at him from up top, he would have been like, I'm going to get up there. There's going to be a bunch of them with guns. I think he was expecting to get up there and have a bunch of them like holding trash.
Well, I think that's what everybody was actually thinking.
Right, and then they all have their guns, which we know
tasers.
what they do because we've seen them happen in episode 4.
Yep. Right off the bat.
Right, like we've seen them work before, so it's like all of a sudden he shows up at the top and they're all, and you're like,
oops.
Well, so I'm like, and for 2 seconds you're going, how does he get out of this one? He doesn't.
He falls off. But even like climbing up the thing.
I thought that was a great scene.
Throwing them out when he caught them.
But that was like, I'm sitting there going, this show, the production value on this is insane. Like, there's a dude running after. Do we like the new Star Wars game? We have not tried it yet.
I would like to after the game I'm playing.
Yeah. But yeah, like, that's the pieces. I'm sitting there watching him, like, vaporize Jawas, and I'm like, okay, this is great. And then the sandcrawler starts taking off, and he starts running after it, and I'm like, oh, it's going to get away, and, like, it's just going to be a nice scene. They had him climb a bloody sandcrawler, and I'm like, this show is amazing. Like,
I love that whole interaction, and then even after.
Yeah.
Which I didn't realize who that character was. I knew the voice sounded familiar.
Mm-hmm.
It's Nick Nolte, and I'm like, oh, he's doing a Star Wars thing?
Yeah. Good day, Chief Tomei.
Hey. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Wrong alloy.
Where and then the negotiation, I guess we talked about with the guns. It's my religion. Put it down.
Puts him down.
They're making fun. He talks like a Wookiee. and then whispers. Does that interaction there was so great.
Yeah, no, like...
Well, they understand each other. Well,
partially enough, yeah.
He understands them, but he has a hard time talking to them because he sounds like a Wookiee.
I also love how you have Jawas and one of them legit just cries Utini, like, from the original series.
That was right after they got shot, though, wasn't
But that's what I mean, like, well, no, but even when one of them, they saw him coming or whatever, and it was like, Utini, and I'm like, yeah. Like, they just...
But they had their own language.
I know, so it works out perfectly, because I have no idea what they're bloody well saying, so it worked out perfectly, because they can just yell it, and I'm like, that brings me back right to Star Wars. This feels like Star Wars.
And they have personality.
Yeah. I know, they gave us Jawas that actually...
I seriously love the one I was making fun of him. You're talking
a rookie. And they want the egg so badly, and it's pretty much just a cream egg.
I know, right? You want the big... Get away! You want his armor.
Yeah, I know.
You ain't getting his armor.
What do you want that I can actually get?
See, I'd be curious what the chest thing, though.
Because it broke?
Yes.
How
it...
Mixer love.
How it... I felt that's where the
alloy stuff
would have been better there.
Yes.
Than here.
Yeah.
Because that seems like a really weird...
But I feel like we're going to get more of that lore coming out of the blacksmith thing as episodes
But he's
go.
also not fully armored.
I know.
So... Does he just that's what his mission is? To collect all the metal?
To become the greatest bounty hunter of all time by armoring himself up like a video game.
The best bounty
I know, but now it's like a video game. He has to like level up his armor as he goes.
And I thought those were Bosk. I thought that was Bosk at first.
No, that's pretty much what they're doing in this, is pitting him against other bounty hunter type races and droids and all of that stuff.
I think that's where maybe the turn will be in when he go, because he's obviously going to go back to the Empire people and go.
I could not find the baby. Oopsies! It fell off my ship.
Oops. Where that will be his turning point is I clearly had this thing.
Yeah.
You trusted me.
Yeah.
Why are you sending other people to come get this? Like.
Yes, because he does see the other tracker.
Yeah. But does that tracker come from his buddy?
Who knows? Like, there's obviously a lot of other games at play here. And is that what he plays with? Is someone offering a higher price for this bounty?
I'm curious at how those trackers work. Because it's weird that a bounty comes after you, and all of a sudden someone could track you by just going, oh, there you are.
Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is
You're
it?
pretty much that's what I'm like.
Does
everyone in this universe have something implanted in them in case they do something bad?
Yeah, I know. Or is it just like a last known location type thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like...
I know there's a lot of questions, but the framework of the whole show itself, I think, is...
See, my brother felt that second episode was what was that episode? Like, it didn't move anything forward.
I think it shows that he has principles. I think that was more character development of, like, guns are the religion. Like, we got that piece. We got the very much, like, if you don't know Mandalorian stuff, like, he doesn't take his helmet off.
They don't take anything off, apparently.
Well, apparently they don't take any of their armor off, which is going to get stinky real quick. But, like...
and he's not as...
We got to see the little...
He's not as great as fighter as we thought he was.
Maybe he's not as prepared when he gets angry, because that was the thing. Like, his ship got taken apart. And, I mean, fighting a rhinoceros, anybody's going to have some problems.
Yeah, I felt even in that situation, he would have been better prepared.
Maybe.
Because he gets mudded. And then all of a sudden, oh, my gun's not working in the mud. It's like, I think you would have been ready for that.
And that's my other piece is, like, clearly, like, his armor isn't complete, so how much has he actually done with the bounty hunting?
Is he... Is it a name thing where it just gets passed off? The armor just gets passed off?
Maybe. But that's the piece, is, like...
Because he even got shot by that bot, and he got back up.
Yep.
So obviously it does something, but...
But yeah, so that's my, like, there's questions about it, but I still laugh because, like, even after the first episode in the bar fight,
yeah,
like you say, like, he strings the guy and cuts him through the door, and I'm like, already more badass than Boba Fett.
The entire sand...
Yep.
Climbing the thing?
Yep.
My whole time I'm thinking, like, where's his jets?
Yeah.
Come on.
It's jetpack, man.
Jetpack.
No one trusts jetpacks after what happened to Boba.
He just got swung at it.
By a blind guy.
Yeah.
And then got eaten by a worm.
So he might be alive still. We don't know that. It's one of those things. We don't know if he's still alive.
That could be cool in this
show.
That
would be... See, that would be a thing to bring in as Boba.
See, but that's my thing. You can have, like, a major antagonist. Like, your season finale for this could be him fighting Bosk.
Well, there's a character that's been on the posters.
Yeah.
The female character.
Yes.
I'm assuming that might have a major part here.
Yeah.
I recognize her. She used to be a fighter, UFC.
Yes.
She's been in things.
Yes. Deadpool, I believe, wasn't she?
Yes, she was... took on
Colossus in Deadpool, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, well, but that's the thing, because I thought IG-11 was going to be in more episodes, too.
Maybe it's only a couple episode thing.
And it could be. So that's, like I say, I love this show because I know nothing about it.
We know some.
We know some pieces, but for the most part.
This is also a good thing, though, because because I know they're talking after this next Star Wars movie.
Yes.
They're going to start diving into things that not Skywalker related.
Yes.
So if this is what
we're getting,
I'm cool.
Yep.
Do it.
Uh-huh. Oh, I know.
And I do agree with what you said with the opening.
Well, I know
they're showing all the helmets, and I'm like, it's a nice, cool thing there.
Yeah. But yeah, every time, he kicks butt both times. Like the show starts, and he's kicking butt.
Yep.
Like they start with an action sequence and end with a cliffhanger, like every time.
Yeah. Next episode will be.
And the nice piece is this weekly thing now Friday. But I'm enjoying it because I can actually digest an episode. I
guess, yeah.
And think about it and be like, oh.
And you can do other things.
And then yes, I can actually live my life and actually get work done, as opposed to streaming every single time.
That's true.
Random question time. Okay. Will Death Stranding win Game of the Year? Will the vocal minority have a meltdown on social media? Answer at the end of the show if you want. Just curious on your thoughts.
Well,
we kind of are at the tail end of our thing, so sure. Death Stranding Game of the Year. I think it's. I haven't played it.
And
from what I've seen of it, though, it is.
It looks amazing.
Right.
The story takes a while to get into.
But is that worth it? Like that's the piece.
I don't know. I feel like I'm the wrong person to ask on this. The person that would answer this would be
Tony.
I don't think Game of the Year personally. I enjoy Borderlands 3 at this point in time.
I know my Game of the Year is kind of up in the air, but this one is one of those ones where I think it's definitely in contention.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
we knew that coming in.
Yeah.
Coming into it.
Because just all of the things in the game itself are pretty cool. Like, the work that went into this game is insane.
Yes, it took how long to do it.
But even, like, I watched that Conan O'Brien thing where he went and visited, and they legitimately scanned his body in a matter of minutes and put him into the game. And he's in the game. Like, you can go and see Conan O'Brien in the game, and it's just like, damn. So if we're talking overarching stories with, like, crazy gameplay and wild graphics,
I could see it being a strong contender, I guess.
Yes. It's not a game. Here's the thing. The Outer Worlds is cool, but not Game of the Year in my opinion. I agree.
Once again, that's a Tony question.
I've gotten farther in Outer Worlds than he has.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not going to play Death Stranding, no.
No, and that's my piece. Like, Kojima's one of those guys who I appreciate him as a game developer, because he does. He pushes things and does cool and interesting things. It's just, I know getting into a Kojima game is...
I can't remember, is this an exclusive? Yes, for now, I think it was.
Now.
Maybe 2 years in a row where a Sony game...
I know. I would not be mad if Death Stranding won Game of the Year.
I would not be surprised.
I would not be surprised, and I wouldn't be mad. I would be...
For me personally, though, I go back for Borderlands 3.
And I'm looking at Outer Worlds.
Because I base it off what I play, though.
And for me, I do.
I'm in no rush, and I haven't played the new Star Wars yet.
Yeah.
And apparently that's amazing.
And that's the piece. Like I say, Outer Worlds...
Even Call of Duty.
Right.
The new Modern Warfare, they changed the story enough where it's...
New.
Yeah. And it's more relatable.
Sure. But like Outer Worlds, I found I got bored fairly quickly.
Well, that's because you just jumped off the Borderlands bandwagon. No?
One, I jumped off the Borderlands bandwagon, so the combat was really slow. But as an RPG goes, like I know... Because Tony, like we were talking about the last time when Tony was here, was like your sidekicks interact with things. That's nice. But at the same time, it's like any other RPG where if you max out your persuasion... you can pretty much have everybody do everything you need them to do. Yeah. So it's kind of like, I don't need good combat skills because I can talk my way out of every problem.
That's all Fallout games.
But right, like that's any RPG where you get to choose those things is, like, why fight? I can just talk. And it's like, yes, the dialogue is written well and that kind of stuff, but I don't feel like it's a Game of the Year type thing. I feel like it's a fun...
more Death Stranding.
Between those two games, I would give it to Death Stranding only because from what I've seen of Death Stranding, it is a very immersive and like it gets you into that game and it gets you going.
Yeah. I know there's been the whole bunch of videos with the backpack and
Woo!
how big it is and
But like on the other front of
That's a Kojima thing.
And on the other front of Game of the Year, like a game has to be fun, which is where Borderlands 3 for me definitely is more of a contender than something like Outer Worlds.
Yeah, and that's how I base mine.
Did I have fun playing? Was the story compelling enough for me to get into?
Yeah.
Like that's why I'm laughing right now is because like Luigi's Mansion is actually a really solid game, the third one.
Yeah.
So for me, it's up there for like Game of the Year contention because I've been having fun with it. But like you say, Borderlands 3 kept me engrossed for
longer than usual.
That entire game, like I finished that game front to back. Whereas like Luigi's Mansion, I'll play a bit, take a break, play something else. Huh?
We haven't finished it off.
What? The journey was quote unquote fun. Was journey fun? Right. And yeah, Star Wars, I do want to give it a shot. I just don't have the time at this moment. Like,
see how fast I can get through this game.
Well, but that's
my problem with Far Cry is that it's really hard to rush through that.
Yes.
Because there's so much content to do
that you actually want to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
like right now, I don't want anything that's going to take me a while because I just that's why Neo's been fun and MLB's been fun because I can play a little bit of MLB, turn it off, do some work. And I guess that's just the timing of the year right now is not.
But for you, no, that's not
right.
A good time.
Far Cry died after 3. You've been having fun with 4.
I liked 4 so far. I've only played a little bit.
And
3 was amazing. I loved 3.
Yeah, 3 was amazing. I enjoyed 3. I never finished 3 because again I dicked around and did a bunch of random stuff.
Did like Tomb Raider and got supernatural. Kind of.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you got all beastie and whatnot, right?
No.
I thought you gained some of those.
Spiritual thing.
Yeah. But that's one of those pieces where it's like I have my time to play things is like I have an hour here and there, so getting into Star Wars is not going to be a viable option.
I will eventually. I'm thinking December.
And maybe after I'm done with report carding, I can hop into something.
Which I got to see the Black Friday sale. So anyway,
yeah,
see what I got to pick up there.
And that's the other piece is like Planet Zoo is another one where I can sit down for half an hour and build a habitat and then be done. So, yeah, we'll see. Game of the Year should be interesting this year. Mostly because some of the bigger games are coming out right at the end of the year, which might be in contention for us, and they're not going to be in contention for us.
I have a feeling we'll be very divided this year. Because last year, I know we were kind of me and Tony both said God of War, and you and Brian both said something else. I know you and Brian agreed, and Tony and I agreed.
God of War.
That's me. That's Tony. That's not my rating.
Super Smash / Spider-Man. God of War / Spider-Man.
No, that was our runner-up.
Yeah. And I went Super Smash Bros.
Yeah, so you and Brian both said Super Smash Bros. Me and Tony both went God of War.
Shaq Fu, a Legend Reborn.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it'll be an interesting Game of the Year this year for what...
I think, even movies, I think we're divided on that one.
See, I always appreciate Chris writes down like every movie he's watched, which is 90% of the
new movies. I'm not gonna.
Yeah. Well, for the Game of the Year contention or Movie of the Year contention, so you with the movies helps. Game of the Year, I always have to go online because we don't always play the same games.
No.
Yeah, Game of the Year could be interesting this year for our little group, as opposed to like IGN and all those things. Again, like we kind of had this discussion before, but it could end up being who gives them money for their lists and that kind of stuff.
We don't do that. They don't pay us.
No one pays us money, so you get our actual opinion.
You get our opinion. For better or for worse, you get our opinion.
But like that's the thing is they're giving Pokemon like 9 point something on IGN.
I don't agree with it.
And
because of my big issue.
Sure, but that's everybody's big... Dude, there's a part where if you climb a ladder in Pokemon, the overworld freezes.
Is it still having issues?
Oh, yeah. But that's the piece, is like there's so many issues in that game graphically, and like on top of all those things, they're still giving it a 9 point something, and I'm like, that game is not near perfect. From what what people have seen and what, the screenshots are showing, like, it's Pokemon.
Yep.
But I don't think it, from, again, what I've seen of it and all of that stuff... I'm in your Game of the Year. I'm in your game. Game of the year. There you go. So yeah, that's... I don't know. It's one of those things where the big websites, Death Stranding has maybe a shot.
Depends where you are in the world, apparently.
Yeah.
North America, no.
For us, though, I'm not sure Death Stranding might be on top of Tony's list because he's the one who's most likely to play it.
Just a guess, and I can't speak for him, but I want to say it's going to come between Death Stranding and Pokemon.
But I don't know if he's going to play Pokemon because he wants to do Death Stranding first. So, like, I don't know if he'll get to Pokemon before then. So that's the piece, is like, it's...
Or Outer Worlds.
Or Outer Worlds. But that's the piece, is we don't... like, obviously, we're not going to vote for a game that we haven't played.
And in all honesty, I'm not in a rush to do Death Stranding at all.
No, nor am I. But again, that's one of those Kojima things where my brain is not...
It's not a Kojima thing, it's just I have no time.
Right. Well, one, I have no time. Two, I don't have, like, the mind space right now for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm talking, so yeah, I don't know, Game of the Year wise, Death Stranding definitely has a shot.
Yes.
And if people have a problem online, that's a weird one to me, because I feel like Death Stranding's actually kind of...
I think if you go with like IGN or something, I think they're going to go with Pokemon.
Probably. I'm trying to think of what else. Or Borderlands.
Well, that's kooky enough, yeah.
That's what I mean. It'll be a weird year. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Thanks for the question. Appreciate it. We
always love the interaction.
We do love the questioning and the talking. I guess I can take the spoiler tag off now. Either way, if you haven't watched The Mandalorian, go watch The Mandalorian.
Do it.
Because it is stellar.
And you're still here. Obviously. Well.
So, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. If you have, then you're with the rest of us waiting for the next episode.
Yes.
So, there you go. That's been the post-credit show.
Tune in next time.
Tune in next week. We'll be back doing it again. Some of us. Not all of us. I don't even know who's here. Nope. Could just be me.
Oh, I should be good.
Oh, okay then.
Should be.
Good stuff. Cool. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe and do all of that lovely stuff. Share with your friends is the best thing you can do, even if you're not going to like and subscribe and do all of that. You can also visit us at barrelrollnews.com for all of our social media links, so you know when we're going online and all of that stuff. No problem. We're glad you came. Yeah. Either way. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.